Look at your life closely. You did precisely what you were told. You attended the comprehensive schools, you queued politely, you went to university, and you secured what society calls a proper job. You play by the rules. You pay your taxes before you even see your paycheck. You save your pounds, hoping they will retain their value. And yet, look at the result. Why does it feel like you are suffocating? Why does the property ladder, that great British promise of stability, feel like it is being pulled up just inches out of your reach? Why does the cost of simply existing in London, in Manchester, in Birmingham, seem to outpace your salary no matter how hard you graft? You are exhausted, you are disillusioned, and deep down, in the quiet moments before sleep, you suspect something terrifying, that the game is not just difficult, it is rigged. And you are right. The feeling of falling behind is not a symptom of your failure, it is a feature of the system's success. You have been raised in a financial architecture designed for serfs while trying to compete against architects. The people who hold the keys to true wealth, the landed gentry of old and the asset managers of new, are not playing by the rules you were taught in school. They are playing a completely different game, a game of power, strategy, and ruthless ambition. They are playing by the rules of Niccolò Machiavelli. The comforting lies you were told about money, that honesty pays, that hard work is its own reward, are the very chains keeping you financially captive. These are moral fables invented by the powerful to keep the machinery of society running smoothly. They need you to be a diligent worker, not a sovereign owner. In this documentary, we are going to dismantle these lies. We are going to deconstruct the 7 Machiavellian laws of wealth that the elite use to build dynasties, while the rest of the nation is taught to moralize their own poverty. This is not a guide on how to get rich quick. This is a philosophical, violent awakening. Prepare to see the world as it actually is, not as you wish it were.
The 3 deceptions. Before we can build the new rules, we must raise the old ones to the ground. The entire financial philosophy sold to the British middle class is a masterpiece of social control. It relies on 3 specific deceptions. Deception number 1, the myth of hard work. You have been indoctrinated with the Protestant work ethic, the idea that labor equals value, that if you sweat enough, bleed enough, and sacrifice enough, the marketplace will reward you. But look at the hierarchy of your own company. Is the wealthiest person the one sweating on the warehouse floor? Is it the junior doctor working 80-hour weeks in the NHS saving lives? No. The wealthiest person is often the one who does the least physical labor. They are the shareholder, the silent partner, the one who understands leverage. Historically, consider the feudal system that defined this island for centuries. The serf worked the land from dawn until dusk. He worked harder than the lord in the manor. Yet who possessed the wealth? The lord. Why? Because the lord owned the asset, the land, and the serf only owned his labor. Today, the structure has not changed, only the terminology has. The lord is now the major shareholder. The land is now intellectual property or real estate portfolio. And the serf, that is the employee, trading time for a wage that is mathematically designed to cover survival, but never freedom. Hard work without leverage is just a slow form of suicide. Wealth is not built by trading time. It is built by owning the systems that trade time for you.
Deception number 2, the savings trap. Save for a rainy day. It sounds prudent, it sounds British, but in an economic environment defined by fiat currency and quantitative easing, saving is a mathematically losing strategy. When you put your money in a standard savings account at a high street bank, you are lending your capital to the bank. They pay you a pittance, perhaps 4 or 5% if you are lucky. But then look at the real rate of inflation. not the CPI figure the government publishes, which conveniently excludes the things you actually need to survive, but the real erosion of purchasing power, the cost of housing, energy, quality food. If your money yields 5%, but the cost of a flat in London rises by 10%, you are not saving, you are disintegrating. You are literally paying for the privilege of becoming poorer. The Machiavellian player understands that cash is trash. It is a melting ice cube. They do not hoard cash, they use cash as a temporary bridge to acquire assets, properties, stocks, gold, businesses, things that inflate along with the currency supply. While you are saving, they are converting.
Deception number 3. The trap of fairness. This is the most dangerous deception because it appeals to your ego. You believe that if you are a good person, if you follow the rules, the system will take care of you. Machiavelli would laugh at this naivety. He wrote, "A man who wishes to make a profession of goodness in everything must necessarily come to grief among so many who are not good." The financial markets are amoral. They do not care about your intentions. They do not care if you are a loyal employee of 20 years. If your role becomes redundant, you are gone. The tax code is not designed to be fair. It is a series of incentives lobbied for by the wealthy to protect capital. The average person looks at a loophole and calls it unfair. The wealthy person looks at a loophole and calls it a strategy. The complex tax structures, the offshore trusts, the ability to borrow against assets tax-free, these are not accidents, they are features. They are the hidden pathways the powerful use to multiply their capital. While the masses are told that debt is evil, the rich use debt as a tax-free way to access liquidity. Your mortgage and your credit card debt generate the profits that subsidize their cheap leverage. It is a reverse Robin Hood effect.
The realization. So here we stand. After the age of 30, ignorance is no longer an excuse. Before 30, you could blame your parents, your schooling, or your lack of experience. But after 30, continuing to play by the fair rules is a conscious choice to surrender. To break free from this gravity, you must stop hoping the game will become fair. It never will. The gap between the haves and the have-nots is widening because the system rewards those who understand capital and punishes those who rely on labor. You have two choices. You can remain a virtuous victim, complaining about the cost of living crisis while waiting for a politician to save you, or you can decide to become a player. To do that, you must adopt a new operating system. You must learn the 7 laws.
Act 2. The architecture of power. We have torn down the rotting structure of your old beliefs. Now we must lay the foundation for something stronger, something impenetrable. We begin with the first law. Law number 1. See clearly. The effectual truth. Machiavelli's most dangerous idea was a concept he called la verità effettuale, the effectual truth. He argued that a prince must not act according to how the world ought to be, but how it actually is. In the United Kingdom, we are culturally conditioned to do the opposite. We are raised on a diet of politeness and moral posturing. We don't talk about money, it's considered vulgar. We complain about the economy in the pub, we frown at the government, and then we keep calm and carry on. This stiff upper lip is not a virtue, it is a sedative. Most people live in a fog of self-deception. When they look at their bank balance and feel anxiety, they use coping mechanisms. They say things like, "Money isn't everything. I'd rather be happy than rich. Rich people are greedy Tories who exploited the system." Machiavelli would call these what they are, excuses. They are defense mechanisms designed to protect your ego from the painful truth that you are losing the game. To say money isn't everything when you cannot afford a deposit for a house is not wisdom, it is a surrender. It turns a lack of skill into a sign of moral superiority. The first law demands a ruthless audit. You must look at the British economy without the filter of fairness. The market does not care if you are a hard grafter. The housing market in the southeast does not care if you deserve a home. The economy is a cold, mechanical system of incentives. It rewards leverage, risk, and scarcity. It punishes passivity and labor. If you are broke, it is not because you are a bad person. It is because you are operating on a faulty map. You are trying to navigate a capitalist jungle with a socialist compass. Throw away the compass. Look at the terrain. Law number 2. The gap is where power lives. This brings us to the most common trap for the British middle class, the obsession with income. From a young age, the path is laid out. Get good A-levels, go to a red brick university, get a graduate scheme, and aim for a salary of 50k, 80k, maybe 100k. We are taught to worship the salary. But in the Machiavellian calculus, income is vanity. The gap is sanity. The gap is the difference between what you earn and what you burn. Power does not live in your gross salary, it lives in your net retention. Let me paint you a picture of a modern tragedy. Let's call him James. James is a solicitor in the City of London. He earns £120,000 a year. To the outside world, James has made it. But look closer at the effectual truth of James's life. The taxman takes 40%, plus national insurance. His student loan repayments are punitive. He lives in a rented flat in Zone 2 because he needs to look the part, costing him £3,000 a month. He leases a German car. He eats at Pret every day. He goes on 2 ski holidays a year to keep up with his colleagues. At the end of the month, James's gap is 0, or worse, it's negative, fueled by credit cards. James is not rich. James is a high-income peasant. He is one corporate restructuring away from total ruin. He runs faster and faster just to stand still. Now consider Sarah. She runs a mundane plumbing supply business in the north. She pays herself £50,000, but she understands the tax code. She takes dividends, not just salary. She drives a 4-year-old paid-off van. Her mortgage is modest. Her lifestyle costs her £25,000. Her gap is £25,000 a year. In the math of power, Sarah is infinitely stronger than James. Why? Because James is owned by his lifestyle. He cannot quit. He cannot take risks. He must bow to his employer because his expenses demand it. Sarah's gap is her war chest. That £25,000 is soldiers. She sends them out to buy rental properties, to invest in index funds, to buy gold. The British tax system is designed to slaughter high earners who rely on PAYE, pay as you earn. When you earn more, you don't just pay more tax, you lose your personal allowance, you lose child benefits. The system is rigged to keep the high-earning employer on the treadmill. The only way to win is to stop focusing on looking rich and start focusing on being sovereign. Every pound you spend on a status symbol to impress people you don't even like is a pound you have stolen from your own freedom. Do you want to look wealthy in the eyes of society, or do you want to be powerful in the eyes of the bank? You rarely get to be both until you have mastered the gap.
Law number 3. Never bow to a single source. In The Prince, Machiavelli warns that a ruler who relies on a single fortress or a single mercenary army is doomed. If that one pillar collapses, the kingdom falls. In financial terms, this is the law of diversification. Yet 90% of the population violates this law every single day. They rely on a single source of income, the job. We are told that a job provides security. This is the great British lie. A job is not security. A job is a single point of failure. If your entire livelihood depends on the mood of one boss, the performance of one company, or the stability of one industry, you are not free. You are a vassal. Think about the fragility of your position. You trade 40 hours a week for a packet of money. If you stop trading, the money stops. If a recession hits, and in the UK they are cyclical and inevitable, and you are made redundant, what happens? Panic, desperation. You are forced to take the first offer that comes along, likely for less money. You lose your leverage. The wealthy never put themselves in this position. They do not have a job, they have a portfolio. They understand that income must come from different sources that do not rely on each other. Imagine your financial life is a table. If it has one leg, your salary, and that leg breaks, the table crashes. But if you have 4 legs, leg 1, your primary profession, systematized. Leg 2, rental income, real estate. Leg 3, dividends, stocks and shares. Leg 4, a side business or digital asset. If the stock market crashes, the tenants still pay rent. If you lose your job, the dividends still come in. This structure provides more than just safety, it provides offensive capability. When the economy collapses and everyone else is selling their assets in a panic to buy food, the person with multiple income streams is buying those assets at a discount. You might say, but I don't have the time or money to start a business or buy property. That is the voice of the victim speaking again. In the digital age, the barrier to entry is 0. You can start a service business with a laptop. You can invest in the S&P 500 with £50 a month. The barrier is not financial, it is psychological. It is the fear of stepping outside the herd. Your 9-to-5 job should not be viewed as your career, it should be viewed as your primary investor. You use the salary from your job to fund the creation of your other income streams. You ruthlessly siphon money from your employer to build your own escape route. You do not work for the company works for you, providing the seed capital for your empire. Until you have at least 3 independent streams of revenue flowing into your account, you do not have an opinion, you have a schedule. You do not have freedom, you have a permitted existence.
Law number 4. Build leverage. Let systems fight for you. The 4th law is the dividing line between the middle class and the elite. The British working class prides itself on graft. We celebrate the nurse doing a 12-hour shift. We applaud the builder working in the rain. There is honor in this, certainly, but there is no wealth in it. The trap of the middle class is the belief that input equals output, that if you work twice as hard, you should get paid twice as much. This is biologically impossible. You have a ceiling. You only have 24 hours. You need to sleep. You will get old. If your income is tied to your physical presence, you are not owning a business, you are owning a job. The Machiavellian prince does not fight the war himself, he sends an army. In economics, this means leverage. Leverage is the art of disconnecting your inputs from your outputs. It is the ability to work once and get paid 1,000 times. There are 3 forms of leverage you must master to escape the gravity of the British class system. First, labor leverage. This is the oldest form. You hire people. You pay someone £15 an hour to do a task that generates £50 an hour in value. You keep the difference. However, in modern Britain, with high national insurance contributions, complex employment laws and pension mandates, labor is a difficult form of leverage. It is messy. Second, capital leverage. This is using money to make money. In the UK, the most common form is the buy-to-let mortgage. You put down a 25% deposit, but the bank provides 75% of the capital. You get 100% of the capital appreciation. If the house price goes up by 10%, your return on your money is actually 40%. While the tabloids scream about greedy landlords, the strategic player understands that debt, when used to buy assets, is not a burden, it is an amplifier. It allows you to control resources you could never afford with your savings alone. Third, the zero marginal cost leverage. This is the leverage of the new aristocracy, code and media. When you write a piece of software, or record a video like this one, or write a book, the cost to create it is high, but the cost to replicate it is 0. Whether one person watches this video or 1 million people watch it, my effort is the same. This is permissionless leverage. You do not need a bank manager's approval. You do not need a hiring process. You just need to build. The wealthy spend their 20s and 30s building these machines. They build systems that work while they sleep. Ask yourself, in my current work, if I stop working tomorrow, does the money stop?
If the answer is yes, you have zero leverage. You are exposed. You must transition from being the laborer to being the architect.
Law number 5. Strategic positioning, the terrain. A brilliant general will lose the war if he chooses the wrong battlefield. Napoleon was a genius, but the Russian winter did not care about his genius. The 5th law is about positioning. Your talent, your IQ, and your work ethic are multipliers, but if you multiply them by 0, the result is still 0. The 0 is a dying industry or a saturated market. Many people in the UK are playing the game on hard mode without realizing it. They enter industries that are shrinking: high street retail, traditional print journalism, low-end administrative services. They swim upstream, fighting against automation, against globalization, against AI. They work incredibly hard just to survive. The Machiavellian strategist looks at the terrain first. They ask, where is the capital flowing? In the UK right now, capital is flowing into fintech, into green energy infrastructure, into artificial intelligence, into private healthcare solutions. A mediocre project manager in a booming AI company will earn more, advance faster, and get richer than a brilliant project manager in a dying department store chain. Why? Because the tide is rising. This extends to geographical positioning. We must speak the uncomfortable truth about the UK. There is London, and there is everywhere else. This is not to say you cannot build wealth in the north. Many do, often faster because costs are lower. But you must understand the network effects. If your game is high finance, tech, or global media, proximity to the capital, or at least the digital networks that flow through it, is non-negotiable. Proximity is power. You must treat your career not as a passion project, but as a strategic investment. Stop asking, what do I love to do? Start asking, what expensive problems can I solve for people who have money? The market rewards problem solvers, not passion chasers.
Law number 6. Build fortresses of invisible wealth. Now we approach the defensive arts. We live in the age of Instagram flexing, of rented Lamborghinis in Knightsbridge and fake watches on TikTok. People confuse looking rich with being wealthy. Machiavelli warns against this ostentation. In a world of envy, displaying your wealth makes you a target. In the UK, we have the tall poppy syndrome. If you grow too tall, society wants to cut you down. The taxman targets you. Friends ask for loans. Burglars watch your house. The 6th law is build fortresses, not facades. True wealth in Britain is silent. It is the grey man in the barber jacket driving a 10-year-old Range Rover who owns half the county. You wouldn't know it to look at him. This is stealth wealth. But the fortress is not just about clothes. It is about legal structure. The amateur holds assets in their own name. The professional owns nothing but controls everything. The amateur earns a salary, pays 45% income tax, and invests what is left. The professional operates through a limited company. They pay corporation tax, which is lower. They expense their laptop, their phone, their travel, because these are tools of the trade. They invest pre-tax money into their pension. They use structures like family trusts to pass wealth to their children, without the government taking 40% in inheritance tax. This is not illegal evasion. This is playing by the rulebook written by the rich, for the rich. If you are building wealth in your personal name, you are building a castle on sand. One lawsuit, one divorce, or one aggressive tax change, and it is gone. Encapsulate your assets, compartmentalize your risk, be invisible.
Law number 7. Money as a pressure system. The final law is the most uncomfortable. It is the one that will make you flinch. We are taught that money is for consumption, for buying things. But at the highest level, money is a tool for shaping human behavior. Machiavelli knew that men are driven by two things: fear and self-interest. Money is the lever for both. The wealthy do not just spend money, they deploy it as a pressure system. This is the art of calculated patronage. When a powerful person invites you to a dinner, or connects you with a client, or funds your project, they are not being nice. They are recruiting you. They are creating a debt of gratitude. They are binding your interests to theirs. They understand that if they help you get rich, you become a loyal soldier in their army. Conversely, they use money to deny access. The exclusive clubs in Mayfair, the private schools, these are not just about luxury. They are filters. They keep the outsiders out and consolidate power among the insiders. You must learn to use money this way. Stop looking at £100 as the price of a dinner. Look at it as a tool to buy influence. Can you use that money to take a mentor out to lunch, to buy a book for a partner, to invest in a relationship? Generosity, when applied strategically, is a weapon. It disarms your enemies and strengthens your allies. The masses see money as a way to buy freedom from the world. The players see money as a way to exert influence upon the world. We have now covered the 7 laws. See clearly, mind the gap, diversify streams, build leverage, position strategically, build invisible fortresses, use money as pressure. But knowing the laws is not enough. Information without execution is just mental masturbation. Now, we face the final question, the question that will define the rest of your life. What are you going to do about it?
Act 3. The Ascension, Becoming the Player. We have deconstructed the machine. You now see the wires, the gears, and the levers. The illusion of the great British meritocracy has been shattered. But knowledge without action is torture. To know you are in a prison cell is painful. To hold the key and refuse to turn it, that is tragedy. You stand at a crossroads, and this is not a metaphor. This is the decision that defines the second half of your life. Path 1. You close this video. You go back to the pub with your mates. You complain about the government, the cost of heating, and the price of pints. You wait for a raise that barely covers inflation. You hope for a pension that the state may not be able to afford in 30 years. You remain a pawn, a noble, hard-working, suffering pawn. Path 2. You decide to become a player. You accept that no one is coming to save you. Not the Prime Minister, not the union, not your boss. You accept the cold, Machiavellian responsibility for your own empire. If you choose Path 2, do not think it will be easy. The transition from serf to sovereign is violent. It requires the death of your old self. The 12-month protocol. The execution. You are likely asking, where do I start? Do not try to do everything at once. You will fail. Here is the tactical roadmap for the next 12 months in the UK economy. Phase 1. The Purge. Months 1 to 3. Your objective is to find the gap. Audit everything. Download your bank statements for the last 90 days. Look at every transaction. The subscriptions you don't use, the £4 coffees, the nights out that you don't even enjoy. Mercilessly cut. If it does not bring you power or health, cut it. Build the war chest. Your goal is to accumulate £5,000 to £10,000 of liquid cash. This is not savings, this is FU money. It prevents you from being desperate. When you have cash, you can negotiate. When you have zero, you must beg. Phase 2. The Armory. Months 4 to 6. Your objective is to maximize the tax shields. Open a stocks and shares ISA. In the UK, you can invest £20,000 a year completely tax-free. No capital gains tax, no income tax. This is the greatest gift the government has given you. Use it. Max out the employer match. If your company matches your pension contribution, take it. That is free money. A 100% return on day one. Incorporate. If you have a side hustle, stop running it as a sole trader the moment you start making real money. Register a limited company. Separate your identity from your business. Phase 3. The Offensive.
months 7 to 12. Your objective is the second stream. Pick your vehicle. Is it a service business, e-commerce, content creation? Dedicate the ghost hours, 7 p.m. to 10 p.m., Saturday mornings. These are the hours where the amateur relaxes and the professional builds. Launch imperfectly. Do not wait for the perfect logo or website. Sell something. Get money in the bank. Prove the concept.
The price of power, the warning. I must warn you, there is a price for this transformation, and the price is loneliness. When you start applying these laws, you will change. You will stop spending money on stupid things. You will stop engaging in gossip. You will stop drinking every Friday night because you have work to do on your empire. Your friends, your old guard, will notice. At first they will tease you. Oh, look at Elon Musk over here. Then they will get annoyed. You've changed. You're obsessed with money. Finally, they will resent you. This is the crab bucket mentality. When one crab tries to escape the bucket, the other crabs pull it back down. They are not pulling you down because they hate you. They are pulling you down because your success forces them to look at their own failure. Your discipline is an insult to their comfort. You must be prepared to walk alone for a while. You must be prepared to be misunderstood. Machiavelli wrote, "It is better to be feared than loved, if you cannot be both." In your context, it is better to be respected and free than to be liked and enslaved. You will lose friends, but you will find new allies. You will find other players, and the conversations you have with them will not be about complaining. They will be about ideas, about strategy, about the future.
Conclusion. The architect of destiny. History is written by the victors, but your life is written by you. For too long you have handed the pen to others, to your teachers, your parents, your bosses, the media. You let them write a story of mediocrity for you. Today, you take the pen back. The 7 laws are not just financial rules, they are a declaration of independence. See the truth, seize the gap, diversify your power, leverage systems, position for victory, build the fortress, shape reality. The British Empire of old was built on exploration, risk, and ruthless trade. Somewhere along the way, we forgot that spirit. We settled for safety. We settled for the queue. Do not settle. The economy is volatile? Good. Chaos is a ladder. The taxes are high? Good. It filters out the weak who refuse to learn the law. The competition is fierce? Good. The victory will be sweeter. You have the map, you have the tools, you have the philosophy. The fog has lifted, the game has begun, and now, finally, it is your move. If you are ready to join the new order of strategic wealth, simply comment, "I am a player," below. Do not subscribe if you want entertainment. Subscribe only if you want the truth. Class dismissed.